we're live. So we'll see if someone is joining now. And you can actually hear and see something. So you have some instruction how to join this, and you can get invited by clicking on the last link there. Let me see if I should look like I'm live right now, I hope. Yes, here I'm live. So we'll see if someone finds their way here. This is just a test. It's nothing serious. I just want to see if it works and if someone is bored enough to actually log in here and connect their phones and stuff. And one guest. Welcome. So we hope that someone can follow that link, and then we have some black tea with foam, because that's nutrients. But I want to see if someone can connect to that link below. You see them in the comments. You click on the StreamYard link and you should go to somewhere, and then you will appear here. I hope. I'm not really used to use this. I have only used it for private purposes once. So what should we talk about? I don't have anything to talk about except what I already talked about. I just read a news from China. They were using hydrogen peroxide and silver in creating some sort of foam that were good for not spreading viruses, but we all know this since ancient times. So anyone clicking on stuff? I might delete this afterwards, but it would be fun to see if it works well. And I should try this on Facebook, actually, where I can get some download afterwards. I can download this from YouTube, but it's not easy. I can't do it on my computer system for reasons. It's Ubuntu, kind of sort of Linux platform, and they have upgraded to Wayland, so now I can't record my screen with sound and screen, because the programs that can do Wayland can't do sound. So it kind of sucks for me, but I have access to other things, but it's just inconvenience, and you can't download your live streams from YouTube, and they don't show up as normal, which is really annoying. But where is my how many is watching button? 4 watching, okay. That said that at least. So, as I told you, this is just a test. Tell me what to do and everything. And if anyone has a camera and microphone ready, you can just click on the link in the comments that I posted, and then you will be hopefully invited. So here comes the link again. You can write a song about it. Here comes the link again. I will not sing for you right now because I can't really sing. I guess you noticed that when I try to sing about Bill Barr. I'm good at writing songs. Then someone should correct them. Yeah. Right now, I'm not the voice of reason because I'm having a Friday evening. But thank you for your very kind words. I think that to have sounds of reason, you have to be unreasonable sometimes. Otherwise, you are stuck in one kind of reason, and then you are like stuck. And in Swedish, we call that fastna i vinkelvolten. It was a really funny sketch about someone who is doing the gymnastics, and this guy is running around and he's jumping and doing awfully looking but pretty great gymnastics actually. But then he does this thing called the Winkelvolt, the angle volt, and he starts rotating and rotating and rotating, but he gets stuck, so he can't stop. And that was the funny part about that. But you do that with thinking too. You start thinking in one way and then you get stuck in that. I don't like that. I get bored at one way of thinking all the time, so I try to think in new ways always, and most of them are wrong, of course. Just like my pronunciation of English words try to be no, they don't try to be. They become strange sometimes, even though I know English very well. I've spoken English quite perfectly for 20 years at least. With perfectly, I mean sort of. I know the grammar. I'm the best at English grammar than you can imagine for someone who is not an expert on it. But from there to actually remember all the stuff all the time and doing it while a dog is trying to drag you down into a muddy sort of thing or into a stone or something like that. No, I can't. You aim left, then right, then you hit it. Or you use a shotgun and aim somewhere at that general direction. Yeah, there are many ways to do your stuff. I don't remember the English idiom there. In Swedish, you can do your... No, let's not go there. But you can do your work in very many ways. And everything that's work is good. We're doing a course in robot building. So we build robots out of Legos. And we had a problem because if you have a robot and you want it to go straight, but the steering wheel had a motor that you can place in a specific position. The problem is if it comes from the right and goes to the left, it doesn't go all the way to straight forward. So we couldn't make the robot go straight forward. We didn't know what... It was too complicated to calculate, and we didn't have the sensor to see if the front wheel that had a steering wheel on it, if it could actually go straight. So my simple solution is we don't go straight. We go zigzag forward, and it worked pretty well. And our robot was one of the best. It did fail because of mechanical Lego issues. But there's many ways to actually solve stuff. So maybe I should have worked for Tesla, and then your Tesla autopilot will be like super perfect, but your Tesla would go zigzag in the line. But who cares? I mean, it works. So yeah. No, I have a really crappy web camera. That's the reason for the low quality, and it's also the light. I can fix the light. I didn't think that it was important. I wanted to see how stuff works, mostly socially, but also technically. But damn it, don't anyone wants to talk to me? We have a link. Should I post it again? I can post it again, but well, we have the link here. Ah, there. Oh, look, I can see. Brassarn. So we'll add you to the stream. Are you ready? So you will come up any moment now. And here you are. Oh, I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you. So there is something wrong with your mic. I can totally see you. Everyone can see you. We can see your wonderful smile and your wonderful mustache. I heard something. Maybe it's me that haven't. No. Does anyone else hear Brassarn? Yeah, he found something to search for, so we'll see what happens there. I don't know how big the delay is with stuff. Okay, then we have a Dave Beer, so we add you too. So now we have 3 people. Oh, that's a nice beard. And I can hear something from Dubber.
Dubber, yes, Dubber.
Dubber.
No, it's David Bergman, but I shorted it as Dubber.
It sounds very Slavic, but you seem to have a Swedish accent.
Yeah, no, yeah. If I want to, I can emulate a Swedish accent if needed.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a Swedish name, but you're not Swedish. You're from USA.
Yeah, I'm a Svartskalle, but I live in the US. I've been living here for 21 years.
You were from where, you said?
I'm originally from Colombia, actually, which doesn't jive with my name, right?
No.
But I moved to Sweden when I was 6 years old. So I'm a blatte, but I'm a proud Swedish blatte.
Okay. Yeah. We know those kinds. We love you.
Exactly.
And now you live in USA.
I've been here for a few decades here.
Did I mute Brassarn?
1, 2, testar.
Yes, now we can hear Brassarn.
Oh, hello guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. And do you speak Swedish, Brassan?
Brassan sounded that he had a Swedish accent, but I'm not sure.
Swedish, Brassan? Oh, now he's muted.
No, he keeps muting himself, I don't know.
Yeah, he's censoring himself.
Yes,
yeah,
sorry.
Now we can hear you.
Jag pratar bra svenska, ja.
Ja, det är bra. Då kan vi prata svenska om ni vill allihopa, eller hur?
Vi har några...
Jag har eko i... Jag vet inte vad det är.
Yeah, it's not us because we all have headphones, right?
Ja.
Är det någon
Jag
annan
hör
som
inget
är,
eko.
är det någon annan som är på väg in eller? Är det någon annan
Looks
där?
good.
Vi kan prata lite svenska, men vi har några som är ifrån USA. So I think we sort of
speak
stick to
doesn't
English.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right,
But
now
we can
I hear you
speak
guys.
Swedish
Good.
English.
Yes, exactly.
And what do you think about the new restrictions?
The Swedish ones?
Recommendations, I mean, perhaps.
I actually didn't follow them because it sounded they just talk a lot of bullshit, and it's actually not real rules. There are real rules for restaurants in Sweden that they really have to follow. But otherwise, do we care? I don't care. I will go with whatever people that I know in my families will accept. And of course, I will give my parents. I shouldn't tell what Christmas gift I'm giving them, but yeah, they will get some zinc and green tea extracts.
Actually, talking about zinc, do you ever take, Henrik, do you ever take copper supplements?
No, I do get copper from my multivitamin tablets. So I have, this is quite nice, but expensive. Let me, I have to find the right place. So this is a Swedish company, Healthwell. But they put a lot of stuff in here. So also stuff like gurkmeja. Can you say it in English?
Yeah. I have no idea.
Don't remember now. Sorry.
It's the
turmeric something. Turmeric.
Yeah, something like that. The thing that you have in a curry mix.
Yeah, it's turmeric.
And you have a lot of other stuff. They are generally good, and I don't take extra zinc unless I start to feel sick. I don't think you need to. The big problem especially with zinc, and there are problems with magnesium, especially if you like me, drink too much beer. You need to get magnesium from somewhere and zinc because you pee it out. In this beer, there is plenty of cocoa powder. So you get some magnesium from there. And the zinc, people can't absorb it because they eat bread and they eat pasta to everything. And these grains are great. They have a lot of nutrients in them, but these seeds don't like to be eaten, so they kind of bind to this zinc. I haven't really seen a study on that, but all the doctors that seem to know their stuff say this. So if you eat fish, if you eat meat, eat fish and meat and don't mix it with bread and pasta.
Really?
Yeah.
That's quite a news to me. What's the downside of combining these two?
It's that the bacteria in your stomach will kind of, there are some poisons in those seeds, and they bind to especially to the zinc, so that your body can't absorb the zinc easily. The zinc that you get from fish and from eggs, from butter, from anything living animal, you can easily absorb it. And even from one avocado, that's a fruit which is different, because the fruit don't want to kill you. But all the seeds and nuts, they want to kill you because they don't want you to eat their babies. It's their babies. And so they contain stuff that you need to do a lot of stuff with. That's why I don't talk about eating vegetarian and so on, because it's too complicated. I can't do it. So if you eat eggs, then you're fine.
Yeah.
All right. Don't have to worry
That's
then.
a problem because I've listened to you for a few weeks, Henrik, right? And you often assume kind of a quite carnivore focus, at least, right? I'm a vegan, right? So I have to think about these things because I agree with you. I know that you can't really. It's very hard to be vegan unless you know what you're doing, okay? And you also
Yes,
have
I
to
know.
you have to supplement. You have to supplement not only B12 but actually other things as well.
And you have to make a good system. What can we call it? Gut bacteria, gut microbiome biosphere that's very adapted to what you eat, so that you can actually survive on that. But yes, I'm not the right person to listen to about all the nutrients. Of course, I can talk about zinc, I can talk about green tea, quercetin, and so on to help you absorb zinc. So these called ionophores, like zinc and quercetin, that work pretty differently because the green tea extract is solvable in water. So it goes faster, it's generally better, but quercetin has other good things for it. Quercetin you can find in garlic, in onions, and so on. So it's something that we meat eaters really like, because who doesn't like onions and garlic with their steak?
It's
Well,
very
I don't.
popular. Sorry,
In
David.
my soy
Uh,
steak
Have you been
or
eating a
but
vegan
seitan,
diet?
uh,
seitan steak maybe.
Deber, talk a little bit about your veganism and how we
Yeah,
can relate to
yeah.
that.
I mean, um, to be honest, okay, I've been a vegetarian since I was a teenager, okay, and then I became a vegan about 12, 13 years ago. But I actually did feel I didn't get what I needed, so I switched to pescatarian, which means, fish and then green stuff, right? And honestly, I've never felt so good as when I was pescatarian. I didn't eat every day, of course. Ate like two times a week fish. That was ideal. So I'm not a vegan purely for health reasons. Right? It's like a spiritual reasons or whatever you might call it. Just ending other entities' consciousness preemptively feels a little bit weird to me. You know, so it's more of that. So health-wise, I would choose pescatarianism.
Oh, okay, so you're eating fish now, two
No,
days
no,
a
no,
week.
I don't. I did it for a few years, and then I became super spiritual again, like that disease you can get sometimes. And I stepped away from a healthy lifestyle to back to, spiritual, self harming veganism,
Um,
where I am right now.
but to simplify this for anyone who is trying to be or are just stuck in being vegan, uh,
Mm.
can you give me like the three top things, advice that I can give to them? I can't convince them to not be vegan. So what should I tell them except,
I mean, there are two things, of course, like the B12 and then DHA, and I use like algae DHA. I don't know if you heard.
BH,
Yeah, DHA is basically,
DHA? Okay.
yeah, DHA. So omega-3
Yeah, that's
fatty
fish
acids
oil.
are, yeah, exactly. But this is algae, right? So
Yeah.
algae-based DHA and and B12. Those are the main staples of supplements for a vegan.
Okay, I should probably note that.
Mm. You also tend to get there are a few minerals and metals that you don't get, enough of when you eat vegan. So I always take zinc supplements. I don't know if that's maybe it's both like to stay healthy from viruses and so, but also
Yeah.
like a general health thing. Zinc.
Yeah, the zinc is the thing I know about,
Mm.
and especially because most of my followers, they eat too much bread and too much pasta, and then there is a problem with the zinc. So I can understand that thing.
Do you guys take the DV vitamin?
Vitamin D?
Yeah.
Yes. That's also super important. So like, the only thing I force upon my my kids is vitamin D and zinc. Those are the two things I really push them to take.
Yeah, that makes sense. Vitamin D is the most important thing, I think.
Yeah.
I have a guest here now from India, and he refused to take it, but he eats a lot of fish. The problem is he will be a little bit deficient in vitamin D still. I think it's not dangerous, especially not for a young man like him.
But it depends on where you are. I mean, I'm currently in New York. I live in two places, New York and Puerto Rico. So when I'm here, I really need it. But when I'm in Puerto Rico, I get a lot of sun
No, yeah, of course.
year around. Yeah.
I've seen though that many places of India have a lot of vitamin D deficiency. I've read a huge meta study,
Yeah.
and there are people who are having this. There might be that they have a lack of cholesterol, for example, and they have lack of other things, but they are also really afraid of the sun.
Yeah. All these cultures where, cultures with inherently dark complexions, but still, an ideal of lighter complexion, right? They avoid the sun and they have dark complexions. So they, even if they spend an hour in the sun, well, they need to spend like 40 minutes in the sun to get enough if you're dark
Yeah.
complexion. If
I
you're
recall.
lighter, 15 might be okay for, lighter types like us.
I recall when I was in India for a few weeks, they were selling like creams and a
Yeah.
lot of products just to keep their skin white for some reason.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Yeah, like the whole of West Africa is basically bleaching. All ladies bleach, right? To be bright, to be light and beautiful. Crazy.
Yeah, that was the sense I got as well. That was something on the ideal, so to say.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like this story about the Maasai people. They are not that dark, actually. They are pretty black, but they are staying all the day in the sun. They have the lifestyle of herding. So they have the highest vitamin D levels in the world, I think, between 42 nanograms per milliliter up to 52 or something, which is where we generally should be. The interesting thing is vitamin D is not really a vitamin. It's not like vitamin A that you need to build stuff in your body. It just starts your genes, exactly like melatonin that you get when you sleep. But your body can produce melatonin unless you have some problem, like watching your beautiful blue faces right now. No, you don't have blue faces, but there's a lot of blue in my screen, which make it hard to sleep afterwards. But melatonin it's almost like the opposite or the other side of the same coin, like vitamin D, because you produce melatonin when there is no sun up, and it also boosts your immune system. I read this study from somewhere, I don't remember, but they had people seduced on a ventilator, and if they gave them melatonin, the result was astonishing. It was like 80% less death just for melatonin. And if they also got vitamin D, well,
What did you say? What kind of situation were they in?
they were seduced on a ventilator. So
Yeah.
they didn't sleep. They were seducted is the right term, I think.
Yeah, seduced,
All right.
maybe.
So pretty much
But
that's
Not seduced, but seduced. seduced by the great gases. But if you're unconscious, you don't sleep well, and you don't create melatonin. So at that moment, you need extra. And when they did this, they did a lot of other tests, but nothing was really important except this one thing. So this was my first big
by the way,
video. Yeah, sure.
yeah, ventilator is respirator in Swedish.
Oh, right. That's
No,
now it makes sense.
not really, actually. It's respirator med mekanisk ventilering.
Oh, right. Thanks for clearing it out.
So in English, we have respirator that does some breathing stuff with you, and then you have the ventilator that actually you put a tube down and force the lungs go up and down, and you have to be.
It's called either respirators or invasive ventilators. Okay.
Yes.
In English.
Invasive then.
No, they're called invasive when you put have to have that tube down your throat.
Yeah, we can change the subject now. I'm starting to feel ill. That's just disgusting.
There's a dog barking here, so I'm sorry about that. But you know the
I love
feeling,
that.
Henrik.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I have
this
to go,
works
guys.
really
It was
well.
Nice meeting up with you.
Yeah, I think I will
Nice meeting. I have to
Oh,
go.
it's
sort
nice
of
having this little chat.
Talk later, Henrik.
end this, and I will be back. Probably not in the forest because the dog is having her own will.
Okay, take care, guys.
Yeah,
But
bye-bye.
thank you too.
Yep.
Seems like it's working pretty good for you, the stream.
Yeah, it works quite well, and thank you for everyone. And we have the Georgian Viking sedated, and we need to study the English words before we start talking about them. I know the words, but when you start bubbling, then it's not that easy, actually. So where do you live?
Me, just outside of Stockholm.
Okay,
south
close
of
to what? Where?
Tumba, do you know?
Yeah, the dog is going there on Sunday, actually.
Oh, really? Well, what a
So-
coincidence.
Yes. So
And you, or are you?
I'm not going there. No,
No.
I'm going up to Ljusdal in the big forest. So the dog and me are separated generally. It's my neighbor's dog.
Yeah,
So-
it's a funny thing. I've studied in Linköping, so the forest you usually walk in. I've also walked there quite a lot.
It's a really nice
Yeah.
forest. And now during COVID, it has been, I mean, amazingly packed with people. I even when there was bad weather during Saturday or Sunday, I had to use my arm bars, elbows, to fighting off all the people because there were so many. I went out in the middle of the worst kind of forest, and of course they came like 10 orientation. What's that called in English? They are doing orientation and they are searching for those controls, and a big bunch of them come there, one gang after another. So I couldn't even talk in the middle of a forest.
I wonder if they use the compass still, or if they can just use the phone.
I've seen some kids trying to find out where they are, but it seems like they just get more confused with the phone. That actually happened to me in Stockholm. I was really in a hurry to get from my cousin to the central station, and had a few wines, to say the least, and I was on time, but I totally missed it, and I had to run for half an hour, I think. And finally, after doing a sort of what's that? No, I ran to the south, and then I ran back, and then I ran to the east, which is the other direction for you. But then I ran back and ran to the west where the train station was, because it's really hard to be drunk, running, and reading on your phone. So I prefer a map, actually. It's
I guess
better.
you're not local in here, so to say.
I know that part of Stockholm. I got confused because, well, I was drunk and I had a phone with the map. Stuff like that happens, apparently. Don't do that. Don't run really fast trying to find where you are. When you're drunk, you can really concentrate on one thing.
One eye on the phone and one on...
I did make a high score on a computer game that was not really it like an action game where you run up the screen shooting at people, but they are coming as usual. So it's sort of like playing Guitar Hero. And I did a high score when I was drunk, which I couldn't do when I was sober, because then you get nervous and stuff, and you don't do that. So you can do one thing really well sometimes, depending on what it is. I don't recommend anyone to drink beer to do something better, but apparently this is going well.
I wonder if you would get disqualified from any sport for being intoxicated.
That was actually up. There was a Russian high jumper that drank some vodka to relieve her nerves before jumping, but it was like, 3 deciliters or something like that. And that's actually allowed, at least for athletics.
Yeah, quite a bit.
So someone is asking about my background. It's really mixed. I'm kind of this outside guy. I have been studying computer science, a civil engineering exam, and I have worked on a dot-com bubble company called, nowadays it's called Roxen Internet Software. They develop a web server and sort of content management systems. I've been studying geography. I've been doing some financial speculations and so on. So, Brassan, what have you done? What kind of background do you have?
Another coincidence. I'm also a computer guy.
Okay.
I've studied for a few years and I worked a few years also now, developing all kinds of systems.
I've been programming a little, but I'm not really that guy that likes to write code. I only like to write really complicated stuff. And it's
the fun and beautiful part of it.
Yeah, I hate reading through all those documentations and stuff, and I don't like reading other people's code. The thing is that to be a good programmer, you need to read about 10 times more code than you write. So I do listen to other people more than I speak myself, actually. So in that way, I'm better. But when it comes to computer code, I like my code better than others' code. So my code is amazing. So
yeah, it's possible to develop some kind of feelings towards your code, so to say.
Sometimes one comes up with beautiful, ugly solutions, and you just get in love with them. Have you any engineering background except programming?
Well, I know a little bit of CNC welding, kind of basic mechanical engineering. But
yeah, I studied that too.
a little bit of electricity also. in my teenage years. Just studied, never worked in it.
Yeah, I think it's very important that people get a view from the other side. If you're just a programmer or a mathematician, then you kind of get stuck, and you live in an alternative reality, and you have your math and your logic, and it just fit together, but it's not the same as our reality. And suddenly, if you add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, and you end up with minus 1 divided by 12, which an Indian mathematician made. I don't remember his name. It's really complicated and very Indian. But there were some interesting math there that you can probably use in some ways. But if you just keep on believing that's the only truth, that's the problem. I don't mind if you
I think
have
you're totally correct
different
that
truths.
it's a separate world, kind of. Everything is imaginative in some sense.
Yeah, we have this story about you take one engineer, one physicist, and one mathematician, and you do this cruel experiment on them. So you put them in a hotel room, and then you have a garbage can and a bucket of water beside it. And suddenly, in the middle of the night, you put the garbage can on fire. So the engineer wakes up. Oh, the garbage can is on fire. Oh, there's a bucket of water there. So he pour the entire bucket onto the fire, and the entire floor gets wet, and the engineer goes back to sleep and thought, what the fuck was that? Then the physicist, they did the same experiment with him. So the fire started, and he goes there. Oh, there's a fire there. Oh, and there's water there. So he sits down, breathes all this toxic smoke that's coming up from the garbage can, and eventually, okay. And then he pours carefully the water from the bucket, and with the last drop, he extinguishes the fire, and then he can go back to sleep with his lungs that are not so good anymore. And then we have the mathematician. He wakes up in the middle of the night. Oh, there's a fire, there's some water, solution exists, QAD, go back to sleep, and dies from the smoke.
Someone already made it.
I mean, what more do you need to know? There's a solution there.
Yeah, it's a fully functional bucket of water.
I got an interesting question here. What drew you into conspiracies? I started with George Webb, sort of. He's an investigative journalist in Washington, D.C. And he presents a lot of facts, and then he tries to paint some sort of image. I'm not sure he's the best one on stuff. He even talks about Carl Bildt a lot, our Swedish former lover of Iran, for example, former foreign minister. Carl Bildt? No, I mean George Webb. I can write it here.
WEBB.
Go, yeah. So he has a Twitter handle without the E, I think, if that's correct. But you can search for George Webb or through. Damn it, I can't spell it anymore. Through Truth Leaks, I think. At Wiki. So he had been banned from like every. Oh, we have a new guest. So why not?
Oh, hello there.
Busa Master.
That's right.
Busa Master.
Hello.
Oh, you have a Trump sign.
That's right. Keep America great. I keep putting them on my mailbox and they get torn off. Someone takes them off my mailbox every day.
Really?
Yes.
So where from USA are you?
I'm in.
And welcome to Sweden.
Thank you. I'm in Seattle. Or
Seattle.
Tacoma, Washington, near Seattle.
Okay. Where you have almost as beautiful forest as we have here. No, you have really beautiful nature.
Very wet and rainy, yes. Yeah, I didn't know how to do this. I'm just having fun, you know.
Yeah, sure. We get a little bit of echo from you.
Oh, I had to turn off. Hang on, I got to put the other one on pause.
Yeah.
Right.
Know how to do this?
I don't know how to you're hearing yourself, but that's great.
All right, I got it now.
Oh, yeah, great.
Yeah, I forgot to pause the video when I joined, so I was overwhelmed.
I think my camera is not pointed in the right way either. Here it is. Okay. All right. Oh, got too many computers on the desk.
Are you also a computer guy?
Well, I have a lot of them, and I usually it's because of day trading, you know, stock market and cryptocurrencies, all that.
Oh, really cool.
That's why you're interested in, everything.
Everything, yes, and I'm all day long. I'm just listening to the internet. You're one of my new people I like to listen to.
Yeah, we are a lot of these people now. I have done this kind of lifestyle for 20 years or something, but eventually it started to pay off. And well, for my birthday now, YouTube suddenly decided I should have 10,000 more followers.
Right.
So that was nice, and people are ordering my overpriced mugs.
For some reason, you popped up in my feeds, and before they started to hide you, only your Swedish version was showing up.
Yeah.
Did they put those away?
They're still there on YouTube. Only the Swedish version shows up.
Yeah, the last video that I recorded, except my live streams. So the last Swedish video don't have a English version of it. But it's on Rumble and so on. But amazing how Rumble is growing. I've heard they are complaining, growing by 20% per day.
Yes, I'm on there. I think it's pretty amazing how the media ignores everything, and someone from Sweden has more of a grip on it, what's going on, than most of the people. You know what I mean?
Yes. I think you have a lot of good media, sort of right-wing media in USA, but they are also interested in pushing their narrative.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not really interested in that either. But
even Newsmax is I'll listen to Fox, but I'll turn the sound off because I like to watch the stock market.
One problem with all journalists is that they're not trained to think about everything. They are not trained to think, there might be another thing, there might be another thing. If you're a farmer, I think this is one of the big problems when people stop being farmers. When you're a farmer, you need to think there's always something that you haven't thought about. But if you're a writer, you push your stuff and you keep pushing it. You just keep pushing it. And if you're wrong, well, you were wrong. And then you keep doing your stuff over and over again. Doesn't matter how wrong you are. If you are in a stock market, of course, then if you're wrong, then you have to pay.
I have been trading stock options, and there have been days I've made 35,000 in one day.
Yeah.
On the Apple computer, I had 200 contracts, and there have also been time when I woke up in 2005 and I had all this money, about $80,000 on a bet, and then Israel had bombed Lebanon. And I woke up and I was a little bit foggy headed, and I saw the market was down, and I figured this is it. I just had to just unload. And it pretty much ruined my trading for about 10 years because I lost so much money.
George Webb were actually talking about this. He interviewed someone who came from the financial markets, and he saw that there were a big move on the financial markets before this Israel bombing of Lebanon. Yeah. So they called up the people in Lebanon and said, we have a big move in the financial markets here. They are going to bomb your country.
Oh, man.
And the answer from this useless politician was, how can I make money from this? They are going to bomb your fucking country.
Hey, I woke up and the power was going out and my internet was coming on and off, and there was a storm and I didn't know what to do. I just thought I was going broke, so I had to panic sell, and it just ruined it. Because if I would have waited another 2 hours, I would have been back up at least half, I woke up, I a little bit hungover. I go, oh no! Sell.
Yeah.
Sounds like a real bummer.
I learned from it. So this time, the last time the market crashed, I just put everything I had, like $15,000, all into gold, silver, and gold miners. And silver got down to $12. And boom, where's it at? Now, 26 today. But I also had a whole lot of options, and made money on some and lost on others. So I just quit trading stock options. Maybe if everything gets really volatile again, I'll start again.
What did you
double your money in just minutes?
What did you do on 7-Eleven?
7-Eleven? Nothing really.
I watched my internet, turned on the TV, and then I bought some sell options in LM Ericsson for some reason. I just thought it was the biggest company that would have the most liquidity, and I earned 3,000 crowns or something, bought them back quickly. I should of course have bought sell options in aviation companies, but I were not that informed at that time, and I was not fast thinking enough.
Sorry, what did you say? 7-Eleven? Is there a reference to?
World Trade Center. Two planes
okay.
going into. So I heard the first plane and turned on the TV. I were active in something called Lyscom. So in Sweden we have still a computer club, and they had an internet forum that has been running for early 1990, and you have very threaded kind of thing, but it's totally text based. It's complicated to use, but it's really efficient when you get used to it. I should probably check it out again. I haven't been logged in for a couple of years, but I have some. What?
What did you call it?
Lyscom.
Does it originate from the University of Linköping?
There, I type it for you. Lyscom at Lysator. So now they actually have a web client, so you can log into the system. It's mostly in Swedish. There are some English forums there. I don't know how active it is, so I can't promote it, and I can't not promote it. I should check it out and see. I have some friends that are still active there, so why not?
Yeah, so it is stemming from the university.
No, it's a university computer club.
Yeah, I
They
read
are
that.
all. Yeah. Well, I forgot that
I
story.
had a comment on, regarding news and crappy reportings. I've noticed, at least here, that some of the real crappy outlets, they put really young journalists to put out pieces that's really going to cause conflicts and arguments. And it seems like it's just like almost an evil thing to do, to have these young journalists that's looking for jobs, doing the best, and they have to put out these really weird pieces.
Yeah, the business model is to create as much conflicts and feelings as possible.
Yeah, and then they gotta protect them, because they say they get hate or threats and such, so they got to elevate their their kind of
Uh, one one question for Bussamaster.
Yes.
What do you think about the Gateway Pundit?
Well, I like them. I like most of. They seem to be helping get out the truth.
I sort of like them, but they make so many mistakes
Oh yes.
in small details and so on. I kind of prefer, for example, the Epoch Times, but they are so boring. The Epoch Times is boring as
the amount of information has been so overwhelming. I've had to just shut it off for the last few days because I was getting too much anxiety. Because I'm getting prepared every chance I get. I have to go stock up because I'm starting to worry that there's going to be some type of martial law. Like if Trump enacts his executive order, which everything seems to be getting ready for that. From a lot of the people I follow, they seem to be pointing to things that are setting up for possible martial law.
Yeah, everything can happen, and there are so many things. I mean,
Plus, I listen to these people who claim to be intuitive and stuff, and some of them it kind of makes sense because I used to do stuff like that when I was young. I tried to astral project, pick up pictures and images from elsewhere, and I think it kind of works a little bit. So does a web bot. Like Cliff High, who sends out bots and takes linguistic trends and converts them into predictive. Trying to predict.
You can sort of hear on how the zeitgeist or tidsandan in Swedish, the spirit of the time, is changing how people are changing their worlds. Cliff High is quite strange and quite out there sometimes, but
he's really out there. He's local though.
I still have some C60. Did you ever try that?
No, I haven't.
It's really good against hangovers. It's not as good as good kind of salt water. So what I do is I mix my green tea or my raspberry water together with a little bit of potassium-rich salt and some sea salt.
Yeah, I use that Himalaya salt, pink salt. Is that potassium-rich?
Yeah, a little bit. And the sea salt is good because it contains a lot of mercury and other stuff that you need. The thing is, no, you shouldn't eat more mercury because, well, all our oceans are enough poisonous. But yes, your body actually needs some mercury, but you already got enough. But there are a lot of other minerals in the sea. There are some sea salts, but they are too expensive, that are from old sea salt that are millions of years of old before all the pollution. So those are great, I guess. And then you have all these mineral salt, pink ones, or
Himalaya salt, they call it. It tastes a lot better.
I don't care about the flavor. I don't think it really matters, especially if I don't have it in green tea or together with raspberry mix.
Well,
So I mix what?
Oh, I was just telling you, I'd come onto something like this nutrition. It's almost like the fountain of youth for me. I was in a horrible accident years ago, and it's been taking me forever to recover. And what I started doing was they were advertising Vital. It produces growth hormone on TV. It's like $100 for 40 packets. It's way too expensive. So I bought it, and I saw all the amino acids listed. There's 6 different ones, and I bought them all bulk. And now I've been taking huge doses of that every night. And I've actually, my body has come back and everything. I was in really bad shape. You know, I was like 65 years old. I thought it was too late for me to recover. But
you can also
I'm recovering.
You can also eat eggs. You know that?
I do. Yes, I get 3 today.
So eggs contains a lot of all the amino acids.
Well,
I think everything.
Especially the one that's in this stuff called Vital. The largest amount of anything is glutamine. And it promotes, just that alone promotes lean muscle mass without doing any exercise. And it's worked for me. I went from like maybe 205 down to 184 now in 4 months since I started getting back in shape, and quit eating bread too. That was a big thing, and pasta.
I've lost about 10 kilos this year for intermittent fasting.
Yes, me too. I've done it.
And just dropping the bread, and I'm still drinking way too much beer to be healthy. So,
does that mean you're eating 1 meal per day?
I eat 1 meal plus some snacks, and with snacks, I mean, except beer, it's some eggs, or for breakfast, I drink cream with cocoa and coffee. So I don't eat any protein or any sugar for breakfast. So I have like a 16-hour period without protein and without sugar.
Yeah, I started on that high fat, no carbohydrate diet, and it started working. I couldn't believe it. Really easy. I tried the keto, but I couldn't stand that. I can't eat fake sweeteners. I got to have a little bit of sugar in my coffee.
I don't like them either.
I never eat sweeteners. I don't see the point of it. I mean,
well, I don't know. I love it though. I'm addicted a little bit. Just 2 spoons in my coffee every day.
Okay, that's good for you.
A friend of mine, Dad.
My father will totally. My father will never accept not sugar in his coffee, but it's so little sugar it doesn't matter. It's not a health problem. So continue, Brassam.
Yeah, sorry. So I have a friend whose father had diabetes, and he started that diet, high
Keto?
fat, high protein. Yeah, so eating meat and stuff, eggs. He got much better. His values are much more stable, and he didn't get these outbreaks, or what do you call it? Just by changing his diet from a lot of carbs to this protein and fat diet.
You don't need to increase the protein. Generally, it's mostly that you should increase the fat and also get rid of the sugars and the seed oils. The seed oils are really sneaky. They creep up on you. Seed oils, all
the kind of oil you would fry your food in, or
sunflower seed oil.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Everything.
No.
Not virgin olive oil and not cocos oil, but stuff like usual frying oil of any kind, or margarine or stuff like that are usually these kind of, they are either processed too much or they contain this poison from the seeds, and neither of them are good. You are not made to eat this kind of fat because, well, you're not a bird.
Like rapeseed oil?
Yeah.
Because seeds want to protect against vermin and whatnot, or insects.
So either you have to purify these oils so much that they are only pure fat, and then your body can't break them down because they contains no vitamins, no minerals whatsoever, only the pure fat, or they contain a lot of bad stuff. They have done some margarines that they have added vitamin A and so on to, and tried to make it better. I don't know how well they have succeeded. Maybe it actually works in some products. I don't know, but I prefer my butter. Thank you.
Yeah, but my grandfather used to call these other, copies of butter. I'm not sure of the term. He called them. That's only good for the underbridge of a car. The fat.
Are you sure about that? I mean, don't you care about your car?
Yeah, you put it like that.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about cars, but I know they're not great for you, those kinds of oils. We haven't eaten them until the last 60 years or something. And did you know about the wheat? How the wheat has changed a lot just the last 60 years. They have sort of
refined it, or
it has evolved. So it contains now more opium than ever. It contains less nutrients and so on. And we know that from most vegetables. When you want to grow a lot of weight, you kind of sell more and more crappy shit instead of the good stuff with the strong flavor and good nutrients in them. So all the stuff just has become worse and worse the last 50 years, except some exceptions, I guess. So have anyone read the comments? I haven't read them for a while.
No, sorry, I forgot.
Oh yeah, Amazon profits is up 100% while small business owners are going bankrupt. Yeah, this is really infuriating.
Yeah, didn't see that one coming.
The big business they're really good at using every crisis for their own.
Yeah, it's opportunity.
This is not how it's supposed to be, sort of. It should be the small businesses are quicker to adjust to new environments, which is the case. But then the big corps control the governments. So even if the small businesses are better at adjusting to whatever plague is hitting us, the big businesses are better at adjusting the government to please their needs.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think they're all bought off, to tell you the truth.
It's a shame because if people, living in a city like a bigger city, I don't know the people around me. I don't know the store owners. But if I had a personal relationship to that kind of trade, probably I would care more for it. I think.
Yeah, it becomes more than just trade. These people are downright evil. They're destroying I don't know. It's just beyond me. Something's got to happen.
Way of living, so to say.
Yeah, I'm getting sick of wearing a mask, and I don't wear that. And I'm waiting for someone to say something. Just like the guy that came pulling my Trump sign off the damn mailbox. I got a camera out there waiting to find out who it is.
I actually saw two ladies.
I'm gonna get a Trump sticker and put it on this car when I find out who it is.
I saw two ladies here in Sweden wearing masks while biking. That's just stupid. I mean, you should breathe fresh air while biking instead of using your mask that's probably full of fungi and shit.
I've got two masks. The first one I got at Costco for free because they had to give it to me before I could go in the store. And I saved it till it got so dirty. I got another free one. I'm not buying those masks.
And we haven't had the requirement to wear them yet, not at least for myself.
There was some. Is it a suggestion that you should wear them on public transport now in Sweden? Maybe.
Yeah, I heard something like that.
Didn't read the news, and I don't use public transport, so I don't care.
I also picked up that I think that it will be able to hand out these masks at malls and similar places.
Anyway, I got a nice comment here. Sugar in the raw is better, not processed or bleached. The thing is, you can actually get when they produce sugar, they sort out all the good stuff, and of the good stuff, you can ferment it and make something with alcohol in it, which is very good. And you have all the nutrients, and you have no sugar, and you have alcohol in it. So that's a tip for you who don't.
Organic washed sugar. Out of that, the molasses is what comes out of sugar.
Yeah, for example, molasses is from sugar canes, I think.
Sorghum, I think. It's something like that.
There are different kinds of molasses depending on how you make your sugar. But yes, you can get the good parts of the plants that actually have good nutrients, and then you give the sugar to people who have different political opinions from you, and you will kill them legally.
I always try to go with honey for myself.
I needed to get up in the morning along with my fresh ground coffee.
I will try to make some mead from honey. I do have a local producer that I haven't called yet because, well, I'm kind of out of money. Right now I have some money, but because I read this study from Iran when they mixed, no, it was from Pakistan. They mixed honey together with black cumin, svart cumin in Swedish, so black cumin.
Like what comes in curry? The cumin or?
No, black cumin. It's has nothing to do with cumin. It's black cumin. It's a different species. And it's used, they call it like an Islamic spice, but it's not, of course. But they brand it like that. And it's really good at just stopping virus infections and infections generally. It's sort of like turmeric. Is it called turmeric?
Turmeric.
Yeah.
Turmeric, yeah.
I have the stuff made from turmeric that's an extract of 10x of the cumin. And it's helped my bones so well. I had arthritis all over. And it seems to, I have no pain right now. Curcumin, it's called. Hang on.
Yeah, sure.
Det spiskummin va?
No, nej, det är gurkmeja. Curcumin.
Oh, still turmeric.
Wait, let me see if I can get this on the camera so you can see it.
Yeah,
this
turmeric.
turmeric. Yeah, turmeric. This is a 10 times extract. So you get 10 times and it has the bioprene, which is something that comes from pepper, which you need to assimilate into your system. Normally, when you eat it, it doesn't assimilate unless you have the bioprene, which comes from black pepper.
Yeah, I've
Yes.
heard about that too. It helps,
It's the best thing for you.
break some barriers within the body.
Well, it also makes your blood veins in much better condition. Helps your blood veins.
Have you heard about Dr. Shiva talking about this? How he has this computer system, Soldus, what's it called, Cytosolve. Anyway, he can calculate how you combine those drugs together, and together the drugs are way more effective because they sort of interact with the cells in the human bodies. So if you have 1 gram, if I can find my camera, 1 gram of one thing and you have 1 gram of another thing, then it's way bigger than having 2 grams of each of them, because they kind of combine, and every process in the body is really complicated. So when you add a lot of sort of good stuff, but you need to add them in the right way, sort of, but then they become better. Anyway, I'm just asking about Dr. Shiva. Do you know him?
That's about this turmeric, this particular type. When it's mixed with pepper, it becomes...
Especially, for example, that combining that with pepper,
you see,
it's a known effect.
So much pain in my shoulders that I thought my capillaries were being constricted by cholesterol or whatever. So that's why I started taking the turmeric with the, to think it would help my blood veins open up again or whatever. And then I started getting rid of all the bread and everything. Well, actually, between that and all the other amino acids I've taken, I'm actually getting younger right now. I used to not be able to hardly do anything back in March. And since March, I now have 3 Super Dukes, and they're 200 horsepower motorcycles, and I've become extremely powerful just trying to hang on to the damn things. And I put in 9,000 miles on them, just since March.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Super Duke GT and the Super Duke R. And actually, I can actually drive it with the traction control off now. I didn't think I could ever do that, but I can.
So is Busa Master referring to a Hayabusa?
Hayabusa, yeah. My crash was on a Hayabusa. I crashed at 170 miles an hour on a Hayabusa, and I broke both arms, legs, and really smashed up my head pretty good. But I'm okay now. Plus, my shoulder is pretty bad too. Compound fraction of the hand, but raw bones just sticking out. It was horrible. But at least I got to retire from work, and I got disability. It's almost worth it. Because I haven't worked since I was 50. And I had enough money to play around on the internet.
That's a twist on your life, so to say.
Yes, I don't really remember. I'm okay now. I haven't had to work for a long time. I got lots of money. I'll take that. I got rid of the wife too. So better yet.
All the girls in here, you know where to go. You go to Wassermaster.
Well, I don't care now that I'm 65. I see how foolish I was, getting lured by all of them back in the day. Because I used to pick women that I thought were just a good piece. You know what I mean? All I cared about was a little bit of TNA and at least good enough face where I could stand them.
Let's see. It sounds like a time sink.
At the time, those days are over, but I was one of them.
Henrik, going back to what you said about, both you guys said about the pepper interacting with the turmeric. Yeah. That's the case in quite a lot of situations, right? With different foods and what have you. herbs, or at least that it got me thinking of those shamans, in South America, Peru, I guess. I saw some documentary. They mix 3 different kind of tissues from vegetation, and it has to be 3 separate, and they mix these, and just by mixing these, they get some kind of effect.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's statistically, impossible to find such a combination.
Yes, they have been doing this in China and India for at least 5,000, maybe 10,000 years, and they have way more than 3 combinations. And the standard curry mix I got confused by an Indian guy arguing against me about my curry, and he thought, no, the curry tree doesn't do what you're saying, but I wasn't talking about the curry tree. I was talking about the curry mix. But this person was from south of India, where the curry tree is a thing, and it does their stuff. It doesn't do the same thing as the curry mix that they use in northern India, but it's the same name, but different things. That about that.
It looks nothing like I imagine it to be. The curry tree, that is.
And the curry tree, and you have a lot of other trees. The general rule: if you have a tree that grows in an area where it's very hard to grow as a tree, everything from that tree is some sort of medicine.
I tried something the other day I wish I never would have tried. I bought this yohimbe bark off of eBay.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Okay, well, let me tell you, it does work, but it said take 1/4 of a tablespoon, okay? Well, I just figured, it's just like, I'll just pack up a bunch of these pills, make some pills and swallow them. Well, I made up three pills, about 1,000 milligrams, and swallowed them, and my God. Immediately, I started wanting to go run around in circles outside because I was just freaking out. I couldn't stand being in my own body. And then I got, it turns into methyl testosterone in your body once once it goes through your liver. My God, my heart was beating at 140 beats per minute, and I was just waiting for this to wear off. I wish it would. Then I ended up getting sick and vomiting, and then I just ate a whole bunch of cereal or something just to get something in my food and vomited it up some more. And then about the 3rd day, I started feeling okay again. I never again am I going to try it. Yeah, it was.
Give it a try, please.
I had a friend's friend. He was eating caffeine pills because he needed to study for an exam, and he thought it was a good idea. The problem is, if you eat a lot of caffeine, your memory goes out the window, sort of. So he doesn't remember how many caffeine pills he ate, but he do remember that he was out running like 10 miles away from his home just to get out of this.
Just to get it out of the system, right?
Yeah. Don't overdo anything.
Well, this stuff called yohimbe bark, I'm not even, I paid $40 for it, but I think I'm just going to throw it down the drain. I don't even want it in my house anymore. I accidentally take some.
Maybe you should do less of it. I don't know. I don't know what it is actually.
I did the recommended amount a few days ago. Same thing. I didn't feel good all day.
Okay.
Back when I was younger, I bought pills at a health food store called yohimbe bark, and I used them to work out when I went to the gym, and they made my face break out like I was a teenager, so they do produce the methyl testosterone, but it must have been a much smaller dose, but it did make me very angry all the time, like a roid rage,
There is a lot of strange things happening when you put those odd stuff in your stomach. There was an Italian study where people were drinking artificial sweeteners, and 18% of the people get a lot of blood sugar raise,
Oh,
even
really?
if they don't have any blood sugar, but
Like a lot.
only 18%. The other ones, no effect whatsoever, but 18% have some gut bacteria that totally got triggered by the sweetener, and they got a blood sugar rush.
Yes, that's true. A long time ago, I used to have athlete's foot a lot, and I would have like sores on the corner of my mouth, and I always wondered what it was, and I never really knew. Well, my tongue would always get coated too, like it's actually what it is I had too much yeast in my body. It was coming up through my throat, growing in my mouth, like a yeast infection on my tongue. Well, as soon as I stopped all of the carbohydrates, I guess I cut the food off for them, and that's cured up now. I don't have that problem anymore. Less athlete's foot, less. I don't have the white tongue anymore. The yeast. But I think
I think that the sugar is just feeding them, right?
Right.
By the way, tomorrow I will hopefully be talking about. This will be in Swedish though, but this pilot stopped using toothpaste for 1.5 years, and his wife stopped using it for 1 year. And when his wife went to the dentist, and he was like, "You should have those. Are they called tooth stones? Sort of stones, basically under there. You have some stones on your tooth." And she had some cavities that were gone just because she stopped using toothpaste for 1 year. So we'll see about that. By the way, I see your glasses, Bassa Mustard.
Yes.
I had glasses from when I was, I think, 17 to 23. At 23, I realized if I wear my lenses and go to a party, I can't pick up girls very well because I'm staring at the more beautiful girl in the other side of the room. So it was just not convenient. So I stopped wearing lenses. I stopped wearing glasses. And after 2 or 3 years, I don't need any glasses anymore.
No kidding.
So now I can see, not perfectly, but I mean, yeah, I can see like a normal person.
You mean it's adapted to?
Yeah.
I can see when I squint my eyes a little bit. I have to squint.
I can't read my mobile phone in the morning because of some sleep in my eye, as we call it in Swedish. I have to sit up to read my mobile phone in the morning. I can lie down in my bed in the evening and read my mobile phone, no problem. But in the morning, I have to raise up and do like this, and then I can sort of see what's on the phone. It's really strange.
When I was about 40, I started needing reading glasses, really needing them. And then when I was about 50, I had to use regular glasses. But I'm thinking now, maybe I'll just see if I can get LASIK surgery. They say that
it fixes it completely, right?
Right.
It's funny. You think nowadays. I don't think your vision for reading it's not as important when you can so easily nowadays just listen to people talk wherever, whenever. But I have a little brother and he's having problems reading, but it doesn't really, stop him in any way because he can just talk and watch videos on people.
Well, I don't mind just wearing reading glasses. It's just such a pain to ride a motorcycle and have to wear these glasses. that's not much fun. You know,
You have to glue them on, I guess.
well, then it kind of wears a hole in your face too up here. I don't like that either. Kind of a permanent little divot in the top of your nose. That's why I don't
Glasses
like that.
glasses are really nice when you're biking here in Linköping because you get protection from the small insects that you're passing through. So people with glasses at that moment.
I'm always wearing a helmet anyway. If I took the straight glasses, you know, on that bike, I don't know. It's not much wind protection on a Super Duke.
Yeah, but you have your glass on your helmet, so
Yes.
that's a different thing. But if you're just biking on,
You know, at my age, you'd probably never suspect it, but I actually outran the cops about 6 weeks ago. It was
don't tell anyone.
It was brand new. That's what it was. I didn't even have plates on it yet. I just had the temporary. And he was one of these police that are pulling over semi trucks for being overweight and violations. And then he just said, "I don't want to see anything else. I just want to see your license." I go, "Well, okay, here." Well, I had just passed my endorsement because I lost it because I didn't ride for so long. And he brings it back to me and says, "Your endorsement is on here." He goes, "You better stay right here and call someone with a motorcycle license. Otherwise, I'm impounding this bike right here." And he was already impounding the semi truck. So he goes, "I got to go back to the truck." He just hands me my license. Well, I knew he didn't follow protocol. You know, you don't just do that. You know, look at my license and go. So I just took off. As soon as I took off, he came after me, and then I passed about 50 cars, and I never saw him again. When I was scared, when I got home, I was thinking, "Oh shit!" Or I wonder if he wrote my name down or anything. You know, I wonder if he remembered my name. But I guess not. It's been over 6 weeks now, and I'm still safe. That was actually in my lifetime. That was the 17th time I've outrun the police. 7 on bikes, 10 in cars. I've been a complete wild man my whole life.
You're a good driver.
When I was 15, I was running from the cops in California. We were throwing water balloons at some cars, and I'm Swedish. I have no idea what it works in USA. And yeah, suddenly the other 15-year-old guy said, "We should run now because there's a cop." I didn't see anyone, and I ran. And then suddenly he says, "You have to stop or we get shot." And then we got sort of handled. And yeah, we're not doing drugs or anything. We just throwing water balloons at cars because that was a fun thing. I don't know why.
Yes, we used to get away with that.
You mean you got searched?
Yeah, but we got released and he didn't care. The police didn't care, so that was nice.
You know, the police here, they came over because this young girl is retarded. Her mother called the police on her. Okay, and the police come and they act like they're just going to throw her down to the ground. She's retarded, very obvious. Took her to jail. All this shit. Cost, you know, thousands of dollars to get her out of jail. And then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, it's all expunged, not even on the record, because the police should have never done that in the first place. You know, when she's developmentally disabled, obviously retarded, you don't just start beating up, you know, someone like that's not going to understand. But amazing what the police around here do. They even came to...
Yeah. I think it's interesting, you know, because at least that's my perception or the image of the police in the United States, is they are they don't have such high requirements for the personnel. I'm not sure if this is true or not. It's just my perception.
Well, I think so. I think you have to be a police attitude from a kid. You have to be wanting to do your duty to put people in line. because they had that attitude, all of them. You know.
Here we rather send in police that try to speak with.
Oh no! Right away, they're wearing full armor for anything, even if you the littlest thing, they're fully armed with bulletproof vest, everything.
I guess it's a lot more dangerous also over there because of
right. You see, they're ready to jump on you if you do one little tiny thing that they don't like. They'll just throw you right down and handcuff you immediately.
Oh, well, thank you. I think I will end this because everyone is sleeping here and I should be quiet. But thank you for this. This was really funny. So,
yeah, no
Brassan,
problem.
and how do you pronounce your nickname? Bussamaster?
Oh, yeah, Busa Master, because I used to drive the Hayabusa. And I was a master of the Hayabusa.
Oh.
On my YouTube channel, I have a couple of runs. I used to drive a 400 horsepower motorcycle on the street.
Oh, cool! I will check that out.
Check it out.
We did street racing, and I still do it. I have a 850 horsepower Camaro Z01 that I street race, and I haven't been caught. Otherwise I'd really be in trouble. When all this COVID shit started, everyone was driving like crazy. The police were not arresting anybody for anything you did. It was a free-for-all out on the streets. It's just amazing. I had so much fun.
Me too. I was just trying to do a test here, but apparently then lasted for, I don't know. I can't find it.
Yeah.
How many hours have I been on?
It seems like you've been up for 1.5. It's on my screen.
Yeah.
It was a nice journey. I just wanted to make sure that it was functioning for you.
It's really
nice meeting you guys.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do it on Facebook next time, and we'll see.
Have a good one.
Bye.
All right, I'll keep an eye out my alerts.